Hey guys, welcome to my channel and my stream and another video series. A series where we're going to start working on this guy right there. That's our Cylon Raider from the show and movie Battlestar Galactica, the original series from the late 70s. Let's run the intro and get started. Okay, so let's get started with this guy. Of course, they call this the Raider Space Fighter. Of course, that's what they called them. At least Revell did back in the, was it 1978 or 79, something like that. They call it the Imperial Cylon Raider. It's a crucial part of the Cylon war machine. This maneuverable attack craft is piloted by 3 Cylon Centurions and is powered by space and atmosphere capable twin turbo engines. Twin turbos. That's nice. Traveling in groups of 3 and equipped with forward firing turbo laser cannons and bombs carried in bays within the wings. It's difficult to outrun and It is difficult to outrun and capable of destroying any craft in its path. It's not quite proper English the way they've written that, but it's okay. The Revell kit has detailed engine fans and laser cannon, display stand, and authentic waterslide decals with Imperial Cylon markings. The kit is molded in gray and clear. Let's take a look at the kit. Okay. This particular kit, as you can see here, is the 30th anniversary edition. Now, if this is anything like my the other one, the Colonial Viper. I don't know why I brain farted on that for a sec. The Colonial Viper. If it's anything like that build, there's not really a lot in this kit. There's not a super ton of parts. We have in a bag here the display stand. That's nice and simple. We have a sprue sitting here. These are obviously our turbo laser cannons. We have the complete upper shell as one big piece. Complete upper shell, one big honking piece. It's really, this kit's not going to take very long at all. Looks like we have our front windshield and the front mouth. I'm going to call it the mouth, and a couple of things. I think these might be rear engine parts. I don't know. There's definitely our rear engine covers right there. I think these are also parts of the rear engines. Of course, there are only rear engines. And we have our bottom half. One big honking piece. Bunch of stenciling in here. Let's see. Battlestar Galactica, trademark and copyrighted by Universal Studios. All rights reserved. Usually they have a date. Here we go. Copyright 1978 Revell. 1978. But of course this is the 30th anniversary, so I guess this was 2008 when this came out. That's my math. That's the math I'm doing today. 78 to 2008. We have 2 clear parts. These allow you to put LEDs in the engines if you should so choose. I will not. And then we have a decal sheet. Decal sheet here. For our display base, we got the Cylon Raider from Battlestar Galactica. We got some really sad stripes that I'm not going to bother using because I'm just going to paint them. And then we've got our Imperial Viper slogans, logos, whatever they call them. Yeah, so that's it. That's all that's in this kit. Let's have a look at the instructions. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the thing first and then we'll do all the painting, just because of how simple it all is. There's, normally you'd think in a normal kit, like an airplane kit or something, you'd have little bits to put on here and there, all this detail stuff to install yourself, like even like under parts of the guns and stuff like that. The turbo lasers. I don't know exactly how a turbo helps a laser, but I guess it sounded cool in the late 70s. Anyway, I'm sure the bigger kit that's on the market, I can't even say it's on the market anymore. It's the only way you're going to find it on eBay is the Mobius kit, which is a huge version of this. It's like double the size almost, and it's definitely more detailed. And I think it even has the cockpit. Now I've seen online on eBay and stuff like that, you could buy like a 3D resin cockpit kit with the little Cylon inside, and you could customize this and make it a lot more detailed if you wanted. But for my purposes, since my Colonial Viper doesn't even have a clear cockpit canopy, this will match because I'm going to say the lack of detail will match on it, right? Let's look at the instructions. Change the camera here so you can have a look. And let's see here. So lots of colors on this one. We got semi-gloss black, gray, dark gray, and steel. Yay! Woohoo! That's all there is for color on this guy. Let's see. And of course the instructions are only 7 pages total. It's really not a lot to do this. I'm going to put this second page aside just so I can fold this. And of course there's no A, B, C, D sprues. It's just they're all just numbered. So that again should be fairly simple. So let's take a look here. We got number 10 is the main engine end cap. Okay, so let's grab those. And this is, I don't know if this is the lower hull. Okay. What is kind of nice, I'm not seeing any flashing around here. This is really nice and kind of rare for Revell. They're pointing out here they want us to get rid of any ejection pins that are sticking up. Right? Things like this, all these ejection pin marks. Any of them that are protruding too tall, you're going to have to shave those down. We'll do a test fit. Let's do a quick little test fit to see just what I need to get rid of. See, these here, these big circles, these might be an issue, but they might not. So let's just take a look. Let's see here. Do a little test fit. It's not really wanting to kind of lock in anywhere. Okay, let's try this. We got one pin lined up. Doesn't really line up. This is kind of garbage. Because of the size, when you're trying to line up multiple things at the same time, it's a bit of a pain. It doesn't line up. Unless I have it backwards. Do I have it backwards? That's very possible. It's possible I had it backwards. And hey, I did have it backwards. So there you go, kids. Make sure you got it the right way around. Still doesn't line up all that great, but it's not bad. It doesn't look like any of the ejector pins are going to be an issue. It lines up and it goes together and it goes flat. So I don't have to worry about any ejector pins. The back here doesn't really want to close all the way. I just don't think the pins are lined up. But I think with the amount of other pins that are lined up, I could probably get away with just shaving those off. Yeah, they don't. There we go. Maybe just line those up first. Yeah, everything else, it does seem to go together. It wants to go together. Oh, we got a little flashing on here, flashing in the corner. Yeah, a little bit of sanding along here, and that'll clean up that edge really nice. Okay, yeah, we're good. I think we're good with that. Okay. Let's see here. Let me just take my knife and get rid of this flashing on this edge here. Just because that's bugging me a little bit. This tip too. Okay, I know there's not too many of you guys out there that are going to be actually building this kit. I got this off of eBay myself because I wanted to have the counterpart to my Colonial Viper. It's funny, you know, when I was a kid back in 1978 watching the show, I loved the Cylons. The Cylons were awesome because, you know, I loved robots. I was a boy. And I thought robots were awesome. And so I thought the Cylons were really cool. So I always loved the Cylons. I loved their Cylon Raiders. Yeah. Okay, number 10. We're going to get these off of here. There we go. Okay. Get this off, get that cleaned. I anticipate this kit really not taking that long at all with the amount of parts. So they want the holes going towards the outside, and they're going to go in along that line there. So this is supposed to go something like this. Is that correct? Or is it this side? Again, I'm trying to put it together backwards. So it looks like they just do this. I wonder what these holes are for. Holes here. And these kind of cover them, or do they go like this on this side? It looks like it's on that side. It goes to the outside of this little wall here. Like that. And they've got this tiny little nub thing sticking out right there on each side as kind of your guide so that it sits on top like that. Okay, let's get some glue. We're going to commit to this. This is gluing, it's being glued in. There we go, it's glued. Just like that. This being 1978 Revell kit quality, it's not the best fit, it's not super precise, but as it was back in the day, it was good enough then, it's good enough now. It's not like this is a $200 F-14 kit or anything like that. It's just a make-believe little spaceship. There we go. Our two engine parts are in, or engine covers, engine end caps, that's what they're calling them. They are in. Done. Step 2. We can put this aside. Step 2. We're switching gears to the upper hull and putting on a bunch of parts on that. Okay, so we're going to need this guy here, that's number 3, the canopy. The louvered cockpit canopy. When I was first looking at this kit, I did contemplate dropping it on the floor and losing it. No. I did contemplate getting in here and actually cleaning these out and drilling holes, making these hollow through here. But now that I'm looking at this kit and looking at the complexity of that, I don't think it's worth it. I will just paint in there flat black, and that'll be good enough just to do in those. I think that's good enough, and there's no need to get all crazy and trying to get crazy detailed on this. If I really wanted, I could probably find a 3D file online that I could print this out in resin that has the holes in the resin. Of course, the 3D printer would print that detail. Okay, so let's find our other pieces. That's done. So, our other pieces, looks like we've got our guns, our laser cannons, number 17. These guys here. And then our flight check side panel. Flight check side panels, 12 and 13. These are the flight check side panels. I love the name they give them. How was it a flight check? They check these before the flight, I suppose? That was number 13, that's this side. They check them before the flight, I suppose. Let's clean these up. Got 2 more pieces to take off the sprues, but we'll deal with those in a minute. Clean these first. Flight check side panels. Of all the things to call these, just call them side panels. That's all they are. You got a ejector pin right here on the shaft. I suppose it's in a spot where you don't really see it, so it didn't really matter. And I've got a seam line going all the way along here. I want to clean that up. So I'm going to take my file and just kind of file this seam line away, so I can kind of maintain the illusion that this is one piece. At the same time, fix my nub. I'm kind of rotate this a little bit as I'm filing, so I don't make a flat spot. Okay, that's the thing. You don't want to turn your seam line into a flat spot either, right? That's kind of counterproductive. That's good enough. I'm not going to bother along this part. Let's just do this side again. Okay, now the tips of our turbo lasers are solid, and I would like them to have holes. So what I'm going to do is take my knife and kind of put a pilot hole right there in the center. Or at least try. Get as close to the center as I can. So wiggle it a little bit while I push down. Okay, that's right in the middle, I think. I'm going to take a pin vise. Let's find one here. Let's get a small one. We'll start off small. Okay, put that right in the middle. It's close to the center, and we'll do a few turns. Have a look. Yeah, that's pretty close to the middle. If you find you're off to one side, what you do is go to the other, get it in the middle. Let's pretend I have it not centered, and let's say the hole is towards this side here, towards the left. Okay. What I would do is take my drill bit and kind of point it to the right, so that I kind of drill a little bit over and then straighten it up and go down, right? And that way you can kind of offset the mistake you made by not being in the middle. So I'm going to drill down a little bit, get a little bit of a hole going, so we got pretty good there. Now I'm going to step up to a bigger bit. This looks a little bit better now. I'll get in there. I don't want to go crazy. I don't need to, drill this thing all the way down and have a hollow barrel or anything like that. I just want that little bit of a detail that there's actually a hole, or looks like there's a hole. I'll go in maybe, 3-4 millimeters, something like that. Maybe up to half a centimeter. That would be 5 millimeters for you Americans. There we go. So now there's a hole. There's a hole in it, and that's good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's at least, an effort was made. That's the main thing. So let's do the same thing with this. First, we're going to clean up our seam lines. Call them seam lines, parting lines, whatever. It's where the two halves of the mold came together and weren't perfectly lined up. Plus there's an ejector pin on the bottom of this, which, the fact it's on the bottom, that's better than it's being on the top. I think that what's going to take the longest with this kit is cleaning it up. That's going to take a lot more time than actually assembling it. There we go. And a little more of this. Again, I don't want to go too heavy with the file. Alright, let's get this guy, get a pilot hole going. Something like right there. Get the little bit. Yeah, so I've done exactly that. So my hole is a little too to the left, so I'm going to go over to the right with it as I drill in. And then come straight up. Another thing you can do, another technique, the hole is over to one side. Now even if I go with the bigger bit, the bigger hole is going to be over to the side. So what I can do is kind of carve this out like that to get it a little more centered, so that when I step up, the bigger bit is more inclined to go into the middle. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, that's just about perfect there. So let's go in, continue drilling. We'll go in about half a centimeter, roughly the same. Every now and then have a check to see you're not poking through the outside, to make sure you're actually lined up straight. So you definitely don't want to suddenly burst out the side with the drill bit. if I pull the drill bit out, I'll just put my fingernail there, and you can see I'm in that far. That's about 1/4 of a centimeter, and that is good enough, right? The fact I can't see the bottom wall inside, that's great. Okay, you see what I'm looking at there? There you go. We've got our two guns now have holes in them, and that's just a nice, easy little detail to do. Okay, now we got those all ready. Did I clean this one up? I don't think I did. No. Let's clean up our nubs on this. Don't think I have to worry about the front as far as the nubs. Then again, I might have to. I don't know. Okay, last two pieces are going to be number 30 and 31. They're structural strips. Structural strips. 30 and 31. That's these two guys here. Here's my structural strips. So 31 is this guy here, and number 30 goes here. Okay. All right, so let's grab our upper hull. First I'll grab a coffee. Upper hull. Do our structural strips. Where do these guys go? They don't have any line showing you exactly where they go. But this guy's supposed to go in there. I guess he's supposed to go here. I don't know where they go. Like, they don't show exactly where they go. There's no specific slot or anything for them to slide in. There's kind of a... I really don't know where they're supposed to go. Let's take a look at the other... Let's take a look at the box. How about that? Maybe it'll show me on the box. On the box art, they're right there. So there we go. There's my answer. So I guess like this underneath. It's got to go like this underneath. It's almost too tall. Let's take a look. I'm going to do a little test fit here. That's the wrong way. Let's get those pins lined up at the back first. Okay. So if we have it like this, with it assembled here, how is that supposed to go in there? I guess like this. But it sits a little proud. It doesn't go back far enough. And it actually sits like that underneath the bottom one, underneath the lower hull, like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to wait, put these on after, once we've got our upper and lower hulls together. Okay, let's do, well, they're nice enough to put a couple of tabs on this to line it up here. So this goes like that. It's a little unfortunate we can see light right through it here. I'll put some putty on underneath there and fix that up. So we can glue this down. Since we've got the pegs, look at the huge holes for these little pegs. At least they're touching. We'll give it that. Okay. It's kind of just barely touching at the back here, but put some glue on there just in case. So we've got our canopy in. Canopy's there, that's good. I'll let that cure for a minute or two before I try and do anything with it. Our laser cannons are going to go on here on these big honking pegs, and it looks like, yeah, we just press them down like that, but without glue that's no good, so we're going to glue them. I'm going to get my thicker glue because it will act like a bit of a lubricant on here around the edges, so this will press down a little easier. There we go. There's one in. Okay, do a test fit with this one before we commit to gluing it. This one's a little tighter. Like it doesn't want to go. So we're going to shave down our edge here. Chamfer it, or not chamfer, bevel. So bevel. We're going to make it so the edge is not 90 degrees. That's whatever that term is. Bevel, chamfer, I don't know. Just help it to get in there. There, now we can push it down. Good. Okay. Glue. There we go. Push that down nicely. I feel like I didn't get quite enough glue in there, so I'm just going to go in a little bit. So my regular Tamiya glue is running low. There we go. Our two laser cannons are in. Pew 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 pew. Now we have our flight check side panels, and they go up here on each side of here, like so. Nice big gaping panel line there. This is one of those details that, like, it doesn't quite fit, but it's good enough. It's one of those things that is anyone going to notice? With all the kibble and bits that they put on the outside of these spaceships. I saw somebody was analyzing the different things. Like, they used different model kits back in those days. Different model kits to put on the outside of things like this, just to give the outside some detail. This apparently is, like, these two pieces are apparently they're like the drivetrain off of a German tank, like a Tiger tank or something like that. I don't remember what these other pieces were from, but yeah, they do things like that. But they did a lot of kit bashing, right? This side is supposed to go like this direction. Okay. It only fits one way. If you have it upside down, it doesn't fit in there. So you have to have it like this. Otherwise she ain't gonna fit. Okay. If I remember correctly, they did that a lot of this kind of stuff too, like in Star Wars with like the Millennium Falcon. Had a whole bunch of different pieces from other kits on it. Okay. Our flight check panels are in. Like that. That's done. Okay. So that's it for step number 2. Again, these are going to be put aside because I'm going to put them on after I have the 2 halves of the fuselage done. So we can flip this up. Step number 3. Step number 3 is our rear upper hull assembly, putting our thruster fairings on and the equipment bridge. What the heck is an equipment bridge? Okay, if a bridge is something that allows you to cross over, does that mean it allows you to allows the equipment to cross over from one side to the other? Is that what that's all about? A bridge for your equipment? I don't know. I'm sure they're making up the names just like I am. Where's my equipment bridge? Here we go. Not this sprue. This one. The equipment bridge. There we go. So make sure this is cleaned up nicely. See, our nub on this side is pretty gnarly. All right. That looks better. I know that undergating these things would have never even crossed Revell's mind, so I can't, neither can I complain, but, and can't expect it, but that's the way it is. Kit like this from so long ago. I mean, yeah. Oh, 30th anniversary. They remolding. They remolded it. No, all they did was just put the kit out again. They didn't change any molding. It's so expensive for them. I've heard to create molds is such an expensive process. They really got to think about what they expect to get out of a kit before they consider making a kit. These huge ejector marks. It's a good thing they don't interfere with anything. Okay, let's take a look here at the back of our engine. This one's going to go on something like this. There's a couple of tabs. Tab right there for the holes. That's going to tell us where it lines up. This, I think, yeah, it's going to tuck in. It's going to tuck in underneath, which means the flashing that's going on right in here needs to be cleaned up because that looks kind of awful. So that should be nice and smooth because it draws attention to look at. You want to have that smooth. So this nasty looking flashing they've got going on here needs to be cleaned up. This side's good. This side's not bad at all. But this side was not looking very good at all. But looks much better now. Okay, so this just tucked in underneath there. This goes like that. And this is where we do actually get a little interference. Our ejector pin right there is kind of touching it. So let's get in here from underneath. Let's see if I can shave that down. That's not going to work. Let's shave this down a little bit here. Okay, this one's going to be the same, so let's clean this one down. Fortunately, these are just rings. It's not like a big solid block. And I'll just use the edge of my file to kind of grind that down a little bit. Smooth. And that ought to do it. All right, let's get this back on there. Okay, it lines up pretty good. It's not bad. And it's no longer touching that ejector pin, so that's good. Although it might be an issue there. This kind of ejector pin here is making it raised up. So let's file this down. Almost there. I think getting it almost flush is good enough. I got it pretty much disappeared now on that edge. Let's just do the same for this one, a little preemptive. This one is not nearly as prominent, so this one's a much less issue. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, she's sitting flat now, that's better. Okay, we'll put some glue on there. Go. One engine installed, or should I say one engine cover. Just do a little here. And of course where our pegs come through these huge holes. There we go. One installed. Next one. Now right off the bat, this one's fitting much better because I already cleaned everything up. So we'll just go to commit to gluing right away. Down, glue under here, and of course, again, big holes with the little pegs. There we go. Okay. Now, the equipment bridge. It doesn't look like there's a front and a rear on this. It looks like it's identical. I do have a ejector pin that's probably going to interfere with it sitting flush. So let's get that shaved down. There we go. This side too, huh? There we go. Okay, and it's going to go in these little notches here and here. And it's going to be just a hair too short. What the heck, guys? My engines don't really go in any further. It just barely sits on there. I would have liked a much tighter fit. I would have preferred to have this too wide than to have it almost not wide enough, as it's just barely sitting on the edges, but it's there and that's the way it is. So there we go. Our equipment bridge is there. Okay, that's step number 3 done. This completed assembly from step 2. Is it really completed? I don't think so. Now in step number 4, we're going to put our 2 halves together. We're going to go like this, but we're going to have it the right way around. And we're going to go like this. So what I'm going to do is I'll put some glue on our little tabs, our little pegs in here that are going to line up. Okay. And we'll go around the hull with the extra thin. You can see I'm almost out of glue here. My brush, glue brush is just barely dipping into it. It might be time to go buy some glue. I don't have to. I've got another jar. Okay. Let's line these up. Now remember, these back ones were the ones that really didn't want to line up at first. So we're going to do these ones first. Okay, they're lined up. That was easy. In fact, they're all lined up. Talk about a fluke. I just got that all perfectly lined up. They all going into their spots. But I need clips. So I'm going to grab some clips and we'll get these on there. Don't need a whole lot of pressure. This thing seems to be holding quite well. As far as keeping everything tight and aligned. She's not bad. That's kind of a satisfying little clip or a snap when it does that. Okay, we'll go around the perimeter little bit by bit and get our edges glued, and so it's not just the pins holding it together. So go around the perimeter here, and then I think we're going to call it a day. We'll let this set. Because I believe this is probably 90% of the build done. I want to squeeze these together a little bit here. Let's see if I can convince you to hold it instead of me. There's a little spot like this. Like, I'd like to get another clip right in there. That's not holding strong enough. Let's get a stronger one. There we go. Just about done. Now this is kind of open up here. I don't like that. So let's grab a stronger one. Sometimes you need a little extra force. Sorry, that's off camera. Go. I think we're just about all the way around as far as getting this all done together. Looking good. Don't really have any gaps. I'm gonna leave it for today, guys. I'm just gonna add a little bit in here. A little bit there. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave it. Okay guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let this set, let this dry and cure and all that fun stuff, all those different terms for glue drying. Okay, set that down. Let that set, and I'll come back next and we will continue on with it once this is all dried. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new subscribers. And speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so down there in the bottom corner. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I know a good 75% of you or something like that that watch my channel don't subscribe. So I appreciate it. Please, please, please subscribe. Help me out a little bit, eh? Anyway, guys, I want to thank you again. And yeah, I guess we'll see you all in the next one.